with our first guest, Faisal Shuaib, the Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. You're welcome to Weekend File.
Good evening, viewers.
Lead us into the arrangements on ground ahead of arrival of the anticipated vaccine in terms of storage and distribution.
Right. So at this point, we have information from the COVAX facility that Nigeria will be getting up to 100,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine in February. But ahead of those shipments, we've already made sure that the ultra cold chain equipment that is required to keep this vaccine in temperatures of minus 70 degrees Celsius are available in country. Just last week, we went around and showed journalists how we've already prepared this ultra cold chain equipment. We're also working with the sub-national levels to make sure that once these vaccines are transported to the states and the local government areas, we'll be able to make sure that that transportation takes place in a way that ensures that the vaccines remain and retain their potency. So we're pretty much at a stage where we've ratcheted up all of the preparations towards making sure that when the vaccines arrive, NAFDAC is able to access them and certify that these vaccines are safe. For us, that is the paramount consideration. No vaccines will be administered to Nigerians until and unless NAFDAC goes through the process of making sure that all of the documentation is right and it is contextualized within the Nigerian environment to say, yes, these vaccines are safe. Then we will now roll out all of the activities that are required to make sure that we prioritize those people that are most at risk, those people that are most vulnerable to COVID-19 virus.
You mentioned about centers across states, right?
That's correct.
Do we have enough at the moment in terms of the centers at state level?
So right now what we've done is to identify health facilities across the states and the local government areas, particularly primary healthcare centers where we'll be delivering these vaccines. So from the national level to the sub-national level, as long as you're able to keep the vaccines with dry ice, then it's able to maintain that minus 70 degrees Celsius. Then when you get to the sub-national levels, you'll have to keep the vaccines in a temperature of +2 to +8. For the Pfizer vaccine for a period of 5 days. If you're able to do that, then the vaccine maintains that temperature. However, what we're getting is just 100,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine. That's just like a drop in the ocean when it comes to our requirements in Nigeria. So federal government is not going to be investing too much on the ultra cold chain equipment, right? Instead, federal government over the course of the last few years has invested in freezers and refrigerators that are able to keep vaccines, our routine immunization vaccines, within +2 and +8. So the AstraZeneca type Oxford vaccine are the ones that we want to invest in because we already have the infrastructure all across the country to be able to store the vaccine. So in Nigeria, as I speak, almost every single political ward has one freezer that can keep these vaccines. We have the right equipment, solar direct freezers that can keep these vaccines at the right temperature. Only about 700 or so political wards do not have these types of equipment, and we're hopeful that if we keep installing them at the pace that we want to, hopefully by the end of this year we'll be able to finish installing so that in every single political ward we have the right equipment to be able to store routine immunization vaccines, including the COVID-19 vaccines, at +2 to +8 degrees Celsius.
Well, when are you expecting the arrival of the vaccine?
Well, the information that we're getting, and I keep updating the Nigerian populace on the information that we get from COVAX facility, is that the first 100,000 doses will be coming by February. Initially, they had mentioned that it was going to be in January, but just yesterday we got information that due to supply issues, due to manufacturing issues, they will not be able to meet the January date that had originally been communicated. Now it's looking more like February we'll get about 100,000 doses, and then subsequently we get larger doses of the vaccine.
Faisal Shuaib, let's talk more after this piece of information. Conspiracy theories surrounding COVID-19 vaccines have continued to spread, clouding people's judgment due to fear of the unknown. Fatima Sanusi Karaye reports that religious leaders in Kano, Yahya Bello, and some religious leaders kicking against COVID-19 vaccination program.
Well, individuals can only promote their understanding of any situation. So you have to provide them with the right information and educate them so that they can move from a position of doubt to a position of acceptance. You might be aware that the Nigeria Governors Forum has come out very clearly to dissociate itself from the perspective of the governor of Kogi State. For us at the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, we understand that it is not enough for us to just offer the COVID-19 vaccines to all Nigerians. We have to work hard towards on making sure that we listen to Nigerians, understand what their concerns are, their skepticisms, and then provide them with alternative information, correct information about the vaccines. We are very sure that these vaccines are safe and that they're going to be effective, and we're beginning to see that people are coming around. We cannot dismiss the concerns of people because they are not doctors, they are not scientists, right? So they will ask questions. It is for us to provide them with those information because we are the ones that have the training to understand how vaccines work. So we must guide people instead of dismissing them. And this is what we're doing. So I'll give you an example. There's a political leader that started off by saying that we should not take the vaccines at all. He sent out a video. Now, there's another video from the same political leader where he's saying, well, we can take the vaccines as long as NAFDAC does all the checks. And it's only because the information is now available to such political leaders, and we'll continue to work very hard to make sure that we put the information out there so that Nigerians will understand. I know that Nigerians are very rational, and this is why we're beginning to see that Nigerians are coming around. As long as we fulfill all of the criteria, we show evidence that these vaccines are safe. So, for example, Mr. President, the Vice President, strategic leaders will come out publicly to exhibit the safety of the vaccines by taking the vaccines. I think all of those sentiments, all of those demonstrations of confidence in the vaccine is exactly what we need to turn Nigerians, to become in favor, especially those ones that are a little bit skeptical about the safety of the vaccines.
While we thank you for coming on Weekend File tonight, we also wish you good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.